Saturday night in Leicester Square. The pubs may have been told to shut early, but after 10 o'clock here, people are in no hurry to go home. It's scenes like this that worry the government and others who have to try and enforce social distancing.
We have to send officers, the police have to attend, and we have to make sure that these places are closed down. Now, we need more powers. Certainly, the ability to fine people is a huge plus, because I think that would be a deterrent. Not that we want to fine anybody, we just want people to follow the rules.
In England, enforcement is being toughened. Repeated refusal to self-isolate after a positive test could lead to a fine of £10,000, and businesses that break social distancing rules could have to pay the same. But there is a growing number of Conservative MPs who think powers like this should not be brought in without Parliament having a say.
They are meant to be emergency powers. They are not meant to be used as a routine way of governing the country. And there's a reason behind that. It doesn't matter which government is in power. It's Parliament that gets elected. It's Parliament that passes the laws. And that is absolutely the bedrock of our democratic constitution. And therefore, that should be defended.
In the Commons this afternoon, other Conservative MPs lined up to make the same point, and the opposition too.
Why is he against Parliament actually being the ones who finally decide on this? Because it's quite clear it's not even been decided in Cabinet, but just by one or two members in Cabinet. Let Parliament decide.
The Health Secretary said he wanted to involve Parliament and then announced new restrictions for the northeast of England.
We will introduce legal restrictions on indoor mixing between households in any setting. Mr. Speaker, we do not take these steps lightly, but we must take them, and take them now, because we know that swift action is more likely to bring the virus under control.
So from midnight on Wednesday in the northeast, new restrictions. The government serving notice it will do what it thinks is necessary, even as the critics attack those restrictions and the way they're decided.
And Andy Bell joins us from Westminster now. Andy, let's go back to those new restrictions announced in the last hour.
That's right, a toughening up there on areas of the northeast of England which already had restrictions imposed on them. Our understanding is that it will now be enshrined in law. In other words, it will be illegal to mix households inside, whether that's in your own home or in other venues away from your own home. For instance, in the pub, and the 7 areas that are affected are Durham, Gateshead, Newcastle, North Tyneside, South Tyneside, Northumberland and Sunderland. And now the government's introduced that today in the face of criticism, mainly the criticism when it comes to Conservative MPs' imposition on a national level. So technically these are local restrictions, so wouldn't necessarily fall into that category. But still there'll be lots of MPs, especially MPs from the northeast of England, who will once again be concerned that these restrictions have been imposed on the constituents without it going through Parliament.